All right, guys, a little bit more polynomial division today, some applications of the division since we learned how to divide so well yesterday. Today we're just going to do some applications on that. First thing, says use synthetic division to find f of 3 if f of x equals all that stuff right there in that function. So used to, and it said to find f of 3, what we would always do is we would always take the 3 and just plug it in for all the x's. We can also use synthetic division. You can put your 3 in your box, put your coefficients out here, and just do your synthetic and watch what happens. So bring the 1 down, 1 times 3 is 3. That's negative 3, negative 9, 2, 6, 0. Got a 0 at the end. Now, whatever your remainder is, this time it's 0, that's what I would get if I were to plug 3 in for all these x's. So it's a quick way to do that. Instead of plugging them all in and working it all out, you can just do synthetic. Whatever your remainder is the same number you would have gotten had you plugged 3 in. Synthetic substitution. Determine whether negative 3 is a 0. We're going to do the same thing here. I'm going to take the negative 3, put it in the box, and it's a 0 if it's a factor, which means it's a 0. So I'm going to go through and see if I get 0 for remainder. So I'm putting a 3 down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, and sure enough, my remainder is 0. So was that a 0? Yes, it was, because it's a factor, and factors are zeros. So factors give you zeros. So there you go. One more slide. All right, this one says factor that function given that x minus 1 is a factor. So if I give you one factor, you got to find all the rest of them. So because this has an x with it, when I'm set my synthetic up, I'm going to actually put a 1 in, not negative 1, because there's an x. X minus 1, I'm going to put the opposite. If it's a factor, that means when I divide this, I'm going to get 0 for my remainder. So I'm going to bring the 1 down, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. And what that leaves me with is x squared plus 5x plus 6. Now what they want you to do is they want you to factor this original polynomial given that. So what I do is I'm going to factor what I have now. So I'm thinking, what factors of 6 add up to be 5? And the answer is 3 and 2. So I'm going to do x plus 3, x plus 2. So if I put the first factor with that, the x minus 1, those 3 factors right there is the factored form of that polynomial. So tomorrow when you come into class, we're going to do those 3 types of problems. That's really it. Just some applications of the synthetic division and why we do that so much. And there it is. So I'll see you tomorrow.